tight. Guard the doors both day and night. Passwords strong like shields of gold. Love and wisdom shared in bold. Protect our circle, keep it clear. Online shadows lurking near. Guard your fire, don't let it slip. Family strong with cyber tips. Fishing lines in waters deep. Don't let them pull what you keep. Links they shine, but traps they weave. Trust your heart, don't be deceived. Protect our circle, keep it clear. Online shadows lurking near. Guard your fire, don't let it slip. Family strong with cyber tips. Every click we take, be wise. See through all their clever lies.
Welcome back to Family Cyber Tips Daily. Today's episode is all about setting realistic and age-appropriate tech responsibilities for your children, whether they're new to screens or growing fast into digital independence. This guide is for you, okay? From toddlers to teens, every child needs clear boundaries, but those boundaries shift as they grow. And that is a very wise move, okay? Knowing when to introduce new tech tasks can prevent online mishaps, build digital confidence, and strengthen trust between you and your child, okay? So let's get into it. So we're talking so that you are well aligned. We're talking about tech responsibilities or tech roles that you are giving your children based on age, okay? That should simplify it for most of us. All right, so we're going to start with the first age, which would be ages 3 to 6, okay? What sort of tech role would you give a 3 to 6 year old? I would say passive learners, okay? Hi, Connor. Passive learners and watchers. That will be their role, okay? Because any earlier than 3 years old may be misguided if you have to give them roles. But between 3 and 6, you can make them passive learners and watchers, okay? The responsibilities we'll give them at that age will be choosing age-appropriate apps with parental guidance. That's the most, or all they're getting, okay, at that age, all right? Follow screen time limits. So I know young ones generally want to binge on tech. So this is where screen time limits must be enforced. Maximum 1 hour a day will be our recommendation. At this age, 3 to 6, they have to understand that ask first rules are important, okay? So before tapping anything on the screen, they have to ask first. So you have to teach them. Connor is still saying hi, bro. Okay, I'm saying hi back. A tip there would be to stick with curated apps and disable the App Store access. I remember sharing a video, and this is beyond, or rather before the podcast started on January 1st. I shared a video, I believe it was, guided access. That's it. It's a feature on the Apple phone, the iPhone. You set up guided access so that you can enforce that anytime they sit or use your tablets or your mobile phone, that they will only be able to use the app that you have, set up in guided access. And mostly, I think we shared it on YouTube Kids. So you give them the tablet, that's all they're going to see. All right. So getting them at this point to just use curated apps is appropriate for that age. Okay, appropriate. I'm looking at the looking at the comments. It does look like spam, but hey, we continue. All right, so that will be the ages 3 to 6. Okay, so let's go to ages 7 to 9. All right, what tech role can you give a 7 to 9 year old? That will be beginning or beginner explorers. Responsibilities for that age bracket will be basic use of school-related apps. Yeah, they're now in school. Apps like math apps or reading apps. This will be something that they can get on with. You'll be surprised. At this age, 7 to 9, you can start practicing keyboard and mouse skills with them. You know, this is how you use a keyboard. This is how you use the mouse. You know, very important that you start early. These all feel cumbersome, and rightly so. So they do need hand-holding. And so rather than give them too much at this age, it's important to just make it measured. So practicing keyboard and mouse skills is appropriate for this age. All right. Learn about password basics and safe browsing. Google will help a lot. Certainly on the safe browsing, they have Google Safe Search. And then you have on YouTube, you have restricted mode. These are all things that will help at this point in time. All you're doing is teaching them the basics, how to use a password, how to enable safe search, or why safe browsing is important. Introduce tech chores like setting timers, you know, turning off devices after use, or managing simple login and log out actions. Very important that at this age we start, you know, bite-sized portions, start teaching them these things at that age bracket. Okay, so that will be ages 7 to 9. All right, let's move on to a very I don't know what to say healthy, but a very active age bracket, and that's 10 to 12. You know, and not quite teenagers, but they behave as if they're 18. But at this age, it's important to pay attention to how they're, you know, getting on. Really, I can't explain more than that. 10 to 12. The tech role that you give them at this age will be, you treat them as independent users with training wheels. You know, like bikes with training wheels. They still need some hand holding, but every now and then you find that they can get on their own. All right. Responsibilities at this age bracket will be to start using kid-safe email accounts. Yesterday we shared Tocomel, you know, or similar kid-safe email accounts. At this point in time, that's when you introduce Tocomel. We don't recommend that it's introduced any earlier. All right. Participating in class forums with adult guidance, this is the appropriate age. Okay, start understanding cyberbullying at this point. Okay, because they're getting really involved with tech and getting really involved on the online thing, and of course it's a year before the recommended age for the use of social media, so they'll get about. All right, but get them on that level where you start introducing what cyberbullying is and how they should respond. Begin at this age to manage digital files and folders. Builds their responsibility, it builds the accountability, you know, so teach them how to identify, you know, what a folder is, what a file is, if they don't already know as per school. Also, as a tip, teach them how to identify phishing or fake content. Remember, they now have access to Tocomel, which was our recommendation, or any kid-safe email account. So teach them about phishing. It's not too early to introduce this at this time, okay? So that will be it for 10 to 12. A bit short, but it's what it is. And then the next level, we have one more after this, is ages 13 to 15, all right? So this is helping us align with what our children should or shouldn't be doing online. Okay, so we're giving them tech responsibilities. We're giving them a tech role. At ages 13 to 15, you will find that they are now in a space where they are brighter, and there's this little independence that you can start seeing. All right. The tech role, if I was giving them a title, would be emerging digital citizens. Okay. They would have responsibilities for managing passwords with a family approved tool at this age. Help them practice ethical online behavior, no copying, giving credit to sources that they're using for schoolwork. This is where you start pushing those things in. After all, we're training them to be beautiful digital citizens, okay? Balance time at this age between school and social tech. Because if you don't do it at this age, social tech wins all the time, all right? Get them to help their siblings. If they do have younger ones, they can use teaching their siblings tech task or troubleshooting stuff as a way to build their confidence in the digital world. Okay, very important that you get them in that space so that they feel responsible. And of course, you want your younger ones to emulate good character or good behavior. Set social media limits and accountability rules will be one that I'll throw in there as a bonus tip, okay, for this age bracket. Now, the last one is the 16 to 18. I mean, if you have discussions or if you have a relationship with an online relationship or a tech relationship with your young one who is between these ages 16 and 18, you've done well, because typically they don't want to know. Typically. But if you have a very cooperative 16-year-old to 18-year-old as a child, awesome that they're walking this walk with you, especially if they're siblings behind. At this point, the tech role will give them is a responsible contributor, okay? The responsibilities you throw at them will be, okay, you're 16, you're 18, manage privacy settings on social platforms. It's got to be done. Of course, if they need help, if you're informed, as we aim to do every weekday, then you can help them along, but they must manage privacy settings on their social media platforms. Shop or browse independently under supervision. Like I said, an 18-year-old may not need it. If it's appropriate, you can roll it out. Okay? Set and manage personal screen time limits. They're now old enough to do that, and it's helping them. Remember, screen time, too much of it has an impact on your well-being, especially as it pertains to the eye. So having them set and manage personal screen time limits can only be a good thing for them and their curious young ones or younger ones, siblings, who are looking, at how they're faring. Learn about digital footprints and online reputation. You can either send them white papers or, news items about these things, because they're now at an age where they should be able to embrace and consume that sort of content. Okay? Very important that you don't shy away from helping them, grow into what's expected at this age. Okay? It's a bit techy, but it's what it is. And I'm hoping that I've given you a guide. Yes, you may have missed a lot of what each age bracket, entailed or represented. That's the gift of archive. You can go back after the broadcast and find out where your young one fits in, what age. We've covered from ages 3 to 18. So that's pretty wide and pretty comprehensive. Okay, let them, especially the 16 to 18-year-olds, let them help create the family tech rules. Let them be involved in what you are rolling out for the family. They're at an age where they bring value, okay? And this will help empower them and typically creates ownership, which kids love and embrace, okay? Now, it's important to know that every child is different. What I just gave you was a guide, okay? But clear tech milestones help set expectations, and it reduces stress for everyone, all right? The fact that I've broken that down, the tech rules by age, you'll find that digital responsibility grows best when we teach it slowly and reinforce it daily, all right? If this has helped you, as I've hoped and I've prayed continually that it does, give this video a thumbs up, like it, share it with your friends and family, okay? As you do that, you're helping this, community reach those who need it. We post, as you know, every weekday at 6 p.m. Totally to help your family thrive safely in a digital world, okay? I've been your host, Lawrence Edem, until tomorrow at 6 p.m. God bless and goodbye.
Don't let them pull what you keep. Links they shine, but traps they weave.